ఓకే మ్యామ్. సో, వెల్కమ్ టు అవర్ క్లాస్. ఈ మధ్యలో నేను వీడియోస్ కూడా పెట్టలేదు. బికాజ్ మాకు ఇక్కడ ప్రెజెంట్ ఫైనల్ ఇయర్స్‌కున్నారు కదా! వాళ్ళ థర్డ్ ఇయర్స్‌కి మిడ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. నెక్స్ట్ ప్రెజెంట్ కూడా వాళ్ళకి ల్యాబ్ ఎక్స్టర్నల్స్ జరుగుతున్నాయి. ఎంపీఎంసీ ల్యాబ్ కూడా నేనే డీల్ చేస్తుంది. వాళ్ళ సబ్జెక్ట్ కూడా ఎంపీఎంసీ డీల్ చేసింది నేనే. యాక్చువల్‌గా నేను, కిరణ్ సార్ ఇద్దరం డీల్ చేసాం. సార్ ఏమో రిలీవ్ అయిపోయారు. సో, వాళ్ళకి క్వెషన్ పేపర్స్ గాని, ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళకి ఎలా పెట్టామంటే మేము క్వెషన్ పేపర్ ఒకటి ప్లస్ అంతకుముందయితే మీరు ఆన్‌లైన్ ఎగ్జామ్ రాసేవాళ్ళు కదా! బిట్స్. ఈసారి జేఎన్‌టీయూ కాకినాడోడు నేనిప్పుడే పెట్టలేను. మీ ఇష్టం మీకు కావాలనుకుంటే ఆఫ్‌లైన్‌లో పెట్టుకోండి అన్నాడు. సో, వాళ్ళకి బిట్ పేపర్ ఇచ్చాం. అవన్నీ బిట్ పేపర్ 20 బిట్స్ ఉంటాయి. అవి కరెక్షన్ ప్లస్ ఈ మిడ్ మార్క్స్ కరెక్షన్ మొత్తం 188 అప్రాక్సిమేట్‌గా 190 పేపర్స్. 190 డిస్క్రిప్టివ్ పేపర్స్ అండ్ 190 మిడ్ పేపర్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అవి కూడా నిన్నటికల్లా సబ్మిట్ చేసేయమన్నారు. సో, అందుకని ఎగ్జామ్ కండక్షన్, కరెక్షన్, ఆ మార్క్స్ అప్డేషన్, మార్క్స్ వెరిఫికేషన్ వాటిల్లో ఉన్నాము. నెక్స్ట్ మొన్న సాటర్‌డే నుండేమో ఎంపీఎంసీ ల్యాబ్ ఎక్స్టర్నల్ స్టార్ట్ అయినాయమ్మా. సాటర్‌డే, మండే, ఈవెన్ ఈ రోజు గూడా ఉంది. సో, ఇప్పటికే చాలా రోజులు వీడియోస్ పెట్టలేదు కాబట్టి ఈరోజు వీడియో పెడుతున్నాను. సో, చూడండి ఇప్పుడు మనం ఆల్రెడీ ఫోర్త్ యూనిట్ ఎండింగ్‌లోకి ఉన్నామమ్మా. మళ్ళీ మీకసలు మిడ్ ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ అయిద్దో నాకు తెలీదు. ఇంకొక 2 క్లాసెస్ చెప్తే 2, 3 క్లాసులు గట్టిగా చెప్తే మీకు ఫోర్త్ యూనిట్ గూడా అయిపోయిద్ది. ఫిఫ్త్ యూనిట్‌లో ఎంటర్ అవుతాం. మళ్ళీ మీకు ఫస్ట్ మిడ్ మనం ఫిఫ్త్ యూనిట్ సగం చెప్పుకున్న తర్వాత ఫస్ట్ మిడ్ షెడ్యూల్ వచ్చిందనుకోండి. తర్వాత మళ్ళీ అదంతా రివిజన్ చేయమంటారు. సో, అందుకని నేను ఒక రోజు పెడితే ఒక రోజు పెట్టట్లేదు. సో, ఈ లాస్ట్ ఈ 4, 5 డేస్ నుండి పెట్టకపోవడానికి మాత్రం మెయిన్ రీజన్ ఇదే. వి హావ్ కంటిన్యూయస్ ల్యాబ్ ఇంటర్నల్స్ సారీ ఆహ్, మిడ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్, మిడ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ కరెక్షన్, మార్క్స్ అప్డేషన్, ల్యాబ్ ఇంటర్నల్స్. మళ్ళీ ఆ ల్యాబ్ ఇంటర్నల్స్‌లో కూడా 180 పేపర్స్ ఉన్నాయి. నేను, పవన్ సార్ ఇద్దరమే చూసుకోవాలి. వాటిని బబ్లింగ్ అది జస్ట్ దిద్దటంతో సరిపోదు. ఓఎంఆర్ షీట్ల మీద బబ్లింగ్‌లు చేయాలి. చిన్న ఎర్రర్ వచ్చినా మళ్ళీ ప్రాబ్లమ్ అయితది. సో, అందుకని వాటి మీద ఎక్కువ కాన్సంట్రేట్ చేసుకొని వీటి మీద లెస్ కాన్సంట్రేట్ చేస్తున్నాము. ఓకే. సో, మనకిప్పుడు ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఏం లేదు. మీకు ముందు ఫస్ట్ మిడ్ జరిగితే తర్వాత క్లాసులు పికప్ చేస్తాం. ఎందుకంటే మీకు మిడ్ ఎగ్జామ్సే వాడు షెడ్యూల్ ఏమి ఇవ్వట్లా. వాడిచ్చేటప్పటికి నాదేమో 4 యూనిట్లు అయిపోయి ఐదో యూనిట్‌కి పోయాననుకోండి. దేర్ ఈస్ ఆఫ్ నో యూజ్. మీకు మళ్ళీ ఏం గుర్తుండవు. ఫోర్త్ యూనిట్ ఏం ఉండదు. ఫిఫ్త్ యూనిట్ ఏం గుర్తుండదు. సో, అందుకని అది గూడా ఒక రీజను. మెయిన్ రీజన్ అయితే ఇది. సరే, ఈరోజు మరి చాలా రోజుల నుండి క్లాసెస్ అప్‌లోడ్ చేయలేదు కాబట్టి ఐయామ్ అప్‌లోడింగ్ ఎ వీడియో. సో, టుడే ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఈస్ డైరెక్ట్ మెమరీ యాక్సెస్. వాట్ ఈస్ మీన్ బై డైరెక్ట్ మెమరీ యాక్సెస్? Okay, so what is meant by direct memory access? See, before going to this concept, we need to discuss about this diagram once again. Here in this diagram itself, I have given a clear introduction about direct memory access. See, whenever there is a need of data transfer, for example, here we have given one example. Here the instruction is MOV. MOV means the syntax of move is move space destination comma source. That is the syntax of move, isn't it or not? So the syntax, one second. Move space at destination comma source. So this is the syntax. Okay, move space destination comma source. This is the syntax of a move operation. Here if you observe move space data in comma r naught, what does it mean? Here the data is going to that is present in r naught is going to be transferred into data in. Okay, so that is the operation that is going to be taken place. That means here the data is being exchanged between two different registers. Simply to say r naught is a register, consider data in is a register, a memory location. The data is exchanging between transferring from r naught to this one. That means it is clearly a data transfer operation, isn't it or not? Okay, so what is the initial thing before this direct memory accessing concept taken place or introduced? That means before the introduction of this direct memory access concept, what is the thing that is going to happen? Means first of all, the processor used to perform all these operations. Okay, the processor used to perform each and every operation before the introduction of direct memory access. So obviously the workload or the workload of the processor is going to be increasing very much, because we have a processor now. It needs to do different tasks. It needs to perform all the arithmetical operations, all the logical operations, and so many tasks, internal operations. Okay, na? So all these things are going to be performed by the processor. If it needs to perform these operations also, then the workload on the processor is going to be increased to a greater extent. So it's efficient. When the workload becomes more, our efficiency will become less, isn't it or not? Whenever you have less work, okay, or whenever you have medium work, you will do it with a very efficient manner and with a happy mind. But when the amount of work that you needs to do is being increasing, then automatically the workload on you also will become increase, isn't it or not? So that is the concept that happens here also. So direct memory access is a concept that was introduced in order to reduce the workload on the processor, because whenever you want to perform any data transfer operations from one place to another, if you want to transfer the data from one place to another place, we'll go for this concept called direct memory access. Okay, so here what is the main thing is, before this direct memory accessing concept, what is the thing that is going to happen means, an instruction to transfer input or output data is executed only after the processor determines that the IO device is ready. That means in the previous state, there will be a operation called polling. Polling means the processor used to go to each and every device and search whether the processor is ready or not. Like that it used to do. Okay, whenever it determines that the particular processor is ready, sorry, whenever the processor identifies a particular interrupt from a particular device, so that it will handle that particular interrupt. That means the processor will go to the each and every device and it will search whether there is an interrupt that is present in that particular device or not. If any interrupt is identified, then the processor is going to execute that particular interrupt. This phenomena is called polling. Okay, so this phenomena is called polling. So generally, what is the disadvantage of this one means, it will take a lot of time. The processor needs to do different works simultaneously along with this one. But if the processor player, what we'll call if the processor wastes much of the time on this particular issue, then obviously the other tasks are going to be in the pending mode. Then obviously the risk on the processor is going to be increased very high. In order to overcome this one, we'll go for a concept called direct memory access. See, direct memory accessing, the best example what we can say is just our HOD SARS cabin. In our HOD SARS cabin, you can see that particular data entry operator Venugopal. Of course, due to this corona time, he was removed from his duties. But in the meantime, see, in the HOD SARS cabin, you can see him, Venugopal. So data entry operator, he will be present in the first system. Whenever you are entering into the SARS room, in the system itself, he will be present. So what is the purpose of him means? See, there are many works that the HOD SAR need to do. That means there will be many circulars that will come directly to the HOD sir, and he has to look after the entire departmental activities and everything. Okay, see, if HOD sir is looking after the each and every small issues, then can he discharge his duties efficiently? No, because there will be n number of duties that sir needs to discharge each and every day. He needs to take the classes. If any parents comes, he need to discuss with the parents. And if at and if there is any principals HOD search meeting, he need to attend. Okay, so there will be a lot of other works he needs to do. If if he needs to do these small works also, is it possible for him to do all the works efficiently? No. So for that purpose, what they have done, our college has recruited one DPT operator, data entry operator, so that that particular person will look after the small tasks. That means entering of the mid marks. See, if the faculty, for example, I have just told now I have corrected some 190 papers or something. Now we don't have any data entry operator because of corona situation. So what is the thing we have done? I and Pavan, we too have entered the mocks. It become a very burden to us because we need to collect 190 papers. We need to collect 190 bit papers, and we need to upload 190 marks, 190 bit marks, assignment marks. This is very big burden to us. Okay, if there is any data entry operator, then one can go, and if just we are announcing or just we are reading out the marks, he can enter. So that is the main purpose. And if there are any small tasks like asking the faculty for something or giving some material, giving something to the faculty, if anything comes like that, then HODs are directs him to go to that particular faculty and collect that particular information, so that he will come to us and he will ask. Okay, so that means what is the thing that is going to happen means, here due to that particular data entry operator, the work on HOD sir as well as on the faculty are going to be reduced. Okay, so that we can discharge our other duties efficiently, because the faculty, the main intention of the recruiting a faculty is to teach the classes to you efficiently and increase the pass percentage, isn't it or not? So we can, if we are engaged with some other works like entering the mid marks, verifying the mid marks, or going to whatever you call or else checking something, okay, doing taking printouts, taking certificate printouts, submitting in the office, or else if any call from the office, we are going to the office for some work, then we cannot concentrate on the teaching of the subject, isn't it or not? The same thing here also. So as the processor is busy with some main tasks, okay, so the doing of each and every small task is a big burden to the processor. In order to overcome from this one, we'll go for a concept called DMA. DMA means direct memory access. What does it mean? You can see in this particular figure. 1 second. So here in the figure, you can easily observe that, see, we are having here, this is the processor, memory, DMA controller, IO device. Okay, actually the data transfer, while transferring the data, see, the data may be transferred from either input devices to memory or from memory to input devices. That means so we have given here two-way communication, two-way arrow mark. That means here the communication is two-way. So generally the data may transfer, data means some information. It may transfer from input device to memory or from memory to the output devices. Isn't it or not? There is no other scope of transferring the data. Okay. See, in the initial cases, that means without having this DMA, what is the thing that is going to happen means whenever an input device needs to transfer the data to the memory, whenever an input device needs to transfer the data to the memory, first of all, it needs to request the processor. It needs to request the processor. Whenever the processor is free, that means the processor will be busy in some other works now. So whenever the processor is free, then only it can access its permission, and it will access or it will perform the transfer of data from IO device to memory. It will transfer the data from input device to the memory only when the processor is free. That means it is free from some important works. Okay. In the meantime, if the processor is busy with some important works, then that particular input device needs to wait for a long time. How much time will depend upon the work that is being carried out by the processor. If the processor is carrying out some what you call some important tasks continuously, then the IO device needs to wait for a long time. Okay, so that is the concept. Okay, na? So after introduction of this DMA concept, direct memory access concept, now the things are become very, what you will call, simple. Here there is no need of processor intervention. Okay, whenever a request, whenever an input device needs to transfer the data to the memory, it will ask the DMA controller. DMA means direct memory access. That means here we can access the memory directly without the intervention or without the what you will call, without the intervention of a microprocessor. That means here the microprocessor is not going to do the task, only the DMA controller will do the task. That means it is reducing the burden on the processor. It is reducing the burden on the processor. Okay, so that is the concept of this one, DMA controller. Okay, so here one thing you need to understand is, though the DMA controller is transferring the data, that means though the processor is not involving in transferring the data, but the entire data transfer from input device to memory will be looked after by the processor. Okay, that means it cannot be performed without the permission of the processor. See, here you need to understand one thing. The data transfer will be performed by DMA controller only after the permission and supervision of the processor. That means, see, for example, consider our department. Okay, in our department, the highest person is our HOD. The superior person, or whatever you will call, high position person, is our HOD, head of the department, Surya Narayana sir. Okay, for example, if I need see, if I want to conduct the exam, if for example we are having lab externals now, so if I want to conduct the lab external very quickly, and if I want to send the people by 11 or something like that, I have thought to conduct the exam very fast, lab external exam very fast, because I have some work. Okay, then I am the person who is conducting the lab externals, but I need to inform to the HOD, sir, no, sir, actually the lab is up to 12 or 12:30, but we have some work, sir, we need to do that one. So we'll start the exam some 15 minutes or 20 minutes early, and we will continue, we will complete it by 11, so that I can go to that my particular work. Like that I can tell. No? So here I am doing this work. That means I am conducting the lab external, but only under the supervision of our HOD, sir. Okay, I am taking his permission and he will grant. In the meantime, he will come to the visits. Now, for example, we are having lab external that is being conducting from since 2 days. Okay, in every time, every day, Sir Ram Prasad sir and our HOD sir used to visit the labs, and they will see how the labs are being conducted, how the students are moving, how it is, what is the progress, and they will give some suggestions. Complete it by 11:40 or something, so that the buses will move. Like that, they will give some suggestions. That means, though we are the persons who are conducting the lab, but it is the lab external is being conducting under the supervision of our HOD, sir. Okay, that means though we are direct memory accessing, that means though we are though the DMA will transfer the data from my input device to memory, it will transfer only under the supervision of the processor. That is the thing that you need to understand. Okay. Yeah. So that's what they have told. Direct memory accessing. This is the concept of direct memory. A special control unit provides to allow transfer of block of data directly between the external device and the main memory. So that's what I have told in the diagram also. Here we have direct transfer of data between the external devices. External devices are nothing but IO, input output devices. Those are the devices which are connected externally. The examples are keyboard, mouse, monitor. Okay, these are the devices. So here the data is transferring directly between the IO device and the memory. Okay, this is called DMA concept, direct memory accessing concept. This will be performed by a device called DMA controller. Okay, though it will perform directly the transfer between these two devices, so that the processor need not intervene. That means the burden on the processor is going to be reduced to a greater extent. Though the DMA controller is performing all the operations, it will perform only under the supervision of the processor. That means nothing, no transfer will be taken place without the green signal from the processor. Here the processor won't do that operation. There is some device which will do that operation, but the permission should be given by this processor only. Okay, that is the thing you need to keep in mind. Okay, so a special control device is provided to allow the transfer of block of data directly between the external device and the main memory without the continuous intervention by the processor. This approach is called DMA. DMA full form is direct memory access. Okay, next there is a device called DMA controller. Controller, in the sense, the name itself, it indicates that it is a control circuit which will control the operation flow, which will control the flow. DMA controller performs the function that is normally carried out by the processor while accessing the memory. So DMA controller performs the function. It will perform some function that is normally carried out by the processor while accessing the memory. That means how a processor will access the memory, the same function will be performed by DMA controller. Okay, so how a processor, if DMA control is not present, how a processor will access the memory, in the same manner the DMA control will also access the memory. There won't be any differences if the DMA access the memory or processor access the memory. Both will access in the same manner. That's what they want to say here. Okay, so here you get, this is the important point what I have told you previously. The DMA controller can transfer the data without intervention by the processor. Its operation must be under the control of the processor. See, its operation is must be under the control of the processor, though it can transfer the data without the intervention of the processor. That means processor ప్రమేయం లేకుండా ఇది సొంతగా డేటా పంపించినప్పటికీ కూడా, బట్ ప్రాసెసర్ చెప్పినట్టే ఇది డేటా పంపించాలి. మీనింగ్ ఏంటంటే ప్రాసెసర్ అనేవాడు ఇన్వాల్వ్ అవ్వడు, పైనుండి నీకు ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఇస్తాడు, వాడు చెప్పినట్టే నువ్వు చేయాలి, చేసేది వాడు కాదు, నీ చేత చేపిస్తాడు అంతే. That is called DMA. Okay, so how can we transfer the data? For example, if I want to transfer the data, I am transferring the words of data. What is mean by word? we are having process and controllers. Each are having some size. For example, if you consider 8086 microprocessor, it is a 16-bit microprocessor. Its word size is 16-bit. If you consider 8051 microcontroller, it is an 8-bit microcontroller. Its word size is 8-bit. What is mean by word size means? Word size means how many bits of data we can transfer in one clock cycle. In one clock cycle, or in one clock cycle, if we are performing any arithmetical operation, between how many bits I can perform this operation in a single clock cycle. Okay, the word length will depend upon the number of data lines. The word length will depend upon the number of data lines. Okay, because how many bits I can transfer in a single clock cycle means, if I have 18 address lines, I can transfer 18 bits. If I have 24 data lines, I can transfer 24 bits in a single clock cycle. If I have only 8 data lines, can I transfer 16 in a single clock cycle? It is not possible now. So that's what they have told. Okay. So direct memory accessing, how can I perform this direct memory accessing means, first of all, I should know from where to transfer, starting address. That means I need to know the destination address. That is the starting address. Next, the second one, how many bits I need to transfer. First one is starting address. That means where to send, how many words of data I need to transfer, from where to where, what is the direction or what is the route. Okay, that's what I need to. This is just like delivering a parcel. So here, if you observe, how can I perform this direct memory accessing? Direct memory accessing performance is just like a delivering of a parcel to a home address. For example, if I made a parcel of something to my friend, okay, he is in Chennai. Okay, so what is the thing I need to mention? Okay, now I am getting some parcels. I am doing some online business. I am doing some side business or something. So I will buy some material from directly from the company. They will dispatch it through a parcel services like VRL, Navata, ABT transport, like the transportation facilities. Okay, now what is the concept is how they are going to dispatch my parcel. Means first of all, they will write the starting address. That means my destination address, which will be referred as starting address. Okay, next, in that they will give some LR copy. In that LR copy, what is that is mentioned is my city, whether it should reach Guntur or something like the starting address. Next, it's weight, 40 kgs parcel, 30 kgs parcel, like that will be referred as number of words. Next, the third one is direction of transfer. Direction of transfer means whether it is from Chennai to Guntur or Guntur to Chennai, like that. For example, I am bringing the parcels now, so they will I'm taking the parcels from Chennai, so it will be called they will write in that Chennai to Guntur. Okay, like that. So whenever we are transferring the data, these three things are mandatory. To whom you need to transfer, so the starting address of that particular person, how much of data you are going to transfer, some 54 bits, 100 bits, 500 bits, like that. Direction of transfer, from where to where you need to transfer this one. Okay, so on getting this above information, the controller proceeds to perform the required operation. Which controller? DMA controller. So once DMA controller got these three informations, then it will go further or it will proceed. Okay, so that is the concept of this DMA, direct memory access concept. Okay, so see, so now it has got some information. That means it got the starting address, it got the information about number of words to be transferred, and it also got the information about the third one, that means direction of transfer. Once it got the information, it will DMA controller will start transferring of the data. Okay, so now the transferring of data is going to take place. Okay, so see, when the entire block has been transferred, the controller informs the processor by raising an interrupt signal. That means when the DMA transfer is completed, then it will inform the processor. How it will inform the processor? By raising an interrupt signal. It will raise the interrupt signal so that it will inform the processor that the DMA has been completed. When DMA transfer is taking place, the program that requests the transfer cannot continue. Okay, what here they are telling means when DMA transfer is being taking place, okay, that in that particular program or something, that particular program need not do some other task. If I am transferring the data from between A and B, okay, A should not do some other tasks until the direct memory accessing is completed. Okay, that means until the transfer of the data from A to B is completed, A should not do any other work. Is it clear? Okay, next, after the DMA transfer is completed, the processor can return to the program that requests the transfer. So once the once the direct memory access transfer is completed, the processor can return to its original place. Okay, so that's all for this one. The next class we will discuss about the rest of the things. Okay.